Today we're going to use Google Drawings, and for my creative writing students, they are going to be using it to draw a flag for their Create a Country project. So we're going to go to New. It's probably going to be in More for you, and select Google Drawings. Most flags are in a 3x5 format, flags for most nations. So we're going to do the same thing here, and the easiest way to do that is to go to File, and then select Page Setup. It's going to default to the standard. Let's just make this the same format, but we're going to make it a 10x6 because 10x6 is exactly double of a 3x5 or 5x3, and it'll give us more room to make details in our flags. Okay, so now we have a 10x6 page, which is perfect for a 3x5 flag. In order to add things to your flag, you're going to insert them, and my recommendation is just deal with your shapes more than anything else, because if you'll find in these shapes, you've got some pretty handy little tools here. I'm going to select this one. Some of these have names. I want a diagonal stripe that's going to go across here, so I'm going to pull this down. I started in the corner. It gives me some reference. If I wanted to, I could make it go exactly halfway across the page. See that red line? I think I'm going to do that. I like it being halfway across the page, so I'm going to let go there. And I want this diagonal stripe to be green, so I'm going to fill the color, and I'm good to go. Now I want an identical green stripe on the other side of my flag going in the same direction but in the lower corner. So I'm going to click on the thing that I just added, and I can right click on it, and I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to paste. There's a shortcut for these things. Control C if you're working on a PC, or Command C will copy, and then Control V or Command V will paste. So I went ahead and pasted that, and now I'm going to move my new one over. And in order to get it to the opposite corner of my flag, I'm going to bring it over here to the corner. If you go up to Arrange, you can rotate, and I'm going to rotate it twice. There we go. And it looks like it's already in perfect place. I'll make sure. I'll drag it around a little bit. Yep, look at that. It's right in the middle, halfway up and halfway down. Okay. Now I want to make a star. And you can do whatever you want. Play around with this a little bit. You've got a bunch of different shapes here. You can make a star. They've got stars in here. They've got clouds. They've got moons, lightning bolts, hearts, smiley faces, all sorts of different shapes you can incorporate into your flag. But the kind of star that I want to make is going to be a little different than what they have. So I'm going to start by making a triangle. Watch what I do here. And I'm going to create this triangle. Let's see, that's probably, I want it a little narrower. There we go. And I want to move it to the center of the page, but towards the top. There we go. And I'm actually going to build a four-sided star. So I'm going to copy and paste this. I copied once, I pasted 4 times. So now I have 4 identical triangles in every way. Same size, same shape. And I'm going to rotate these. If you right click, you can also get the rotate. That's a shortcut for finding that command instead of going up to Arrange. And I'm going to match it right up to this other corner. I'm going to rotate this one twice. Before I copied and pasted, I should have made them the color I wanted. Time saver, but I'll go back and I'll fix the colors in just a second. I don't want them to be light blue. I want them to be green again. Let's rotate counterclockwise, and that'll put us there. All right. So because I didn't think about it, these are all the wrong color, so I'm going to make them all the right color right now. Okay. So there's the outside of my star, and I'm going to do one of those kind of like a compass rose star. You've seen these before. And the best way that I discovered to do this is to grab another shape. It's a right angle triangle, otherwise known as a right triangle. Oh, you know what? This is going to get pretty precise, so I want to zoom in. I'm going to make this 100%. That's not big enough. Let's make it 200%. That's going to give me a better opportunity to make sure everything's lining up the way I want it to. All right? So I've zoomed in. I'm going to insert that right triangle shape, and I want to cover half of my green triangle up here. And I'm going to make this black. This time I'm going to do it before I copy and paste. Okay? I've got 4 identical half triangles, which will fit very nicely where I want them to in my star. I'm going to rotate. This one only took once. And see how these things help me? These little red lines tell me that I'm halfway between the triangle, that I'm perfectly lined up with the square that I have. Use your red lines. Use your other, and I'll show you some other ones when they come up. They really help you with Google Drawing with those kind of things. And now this is going to go a little bit lower than what I can see on the page, so I'm going to drag it up. And once again, I get those red helpful lines. Perfect. This one, right click. I want to rotate counterclockwise, and it's going to go right here. All right. So that's a pretty good looking star, except the center. All right. So in order to make the center, I'm first going to draw a green square. Green square. And then I'm going to make the opposite sides. So if this is green, this is going to be black. If this is black, this is going to be green, right? So I want to make another right triangle for this one. Right triangle. That's right in the middle of that square. That's perfect. Let's go ahead and make this black. Even though it didn't draw the triangle that I really wanted, I can maneuver it to where I want this one. Right there. And now let me copy and paste that. 1, 2, 3. All right. So there's my little star. And if I go back to view and zoom and go back to what they call fit, there's my perfect little star. All right, so I'll start by clicking on these two shapes and say group. Perfect. So see how those two shapes came together? And then I can click on more shapes by holding the space key and saying group, and then click on more shapes. All right, let's see what happens when I move this. Did I get everything? No, that's why. All right, let me put these things back where they belong. I must have sent those to the back somehow. So another thing you could do in arrange is order, and you want to bring that to the front. Okay. I somehow told those pieces to go to the back. No big deal. If you ever put something else in front that you don't want in front anymore, you can always arrange, order, go. There it is. Arrange, order, bring to the front. Okay, so now I'm going to shift, press the other one, press that, and now if I say group, I believe I have the whole star. So at this point, everything is grouped together, and I can move it. I could copy it and paste it. So the grouping tool is a very good function. Once you've got that in there, then you can really do a lot of copying and pasting with some pretty intricate shapes. Okay, so how's that look? Pretty good so far. That's my flag. And if I wanted to, I could add things in different corners. I could put words on here. There's a bunch of other things that I can show you later, but that's the basics on how to use drawing. Okay, don't forget to title it. I should have done that first thing. I'm going to call this Create a Country Flag Example. All right, there's mine. Good luck drawing.